Good morning. My name's Casey. I have Stella here as my spotter today. I'm going to be taking you through a weightlifting routine for your upper body. I have my mat. I have a heavy weight, a moderately heavy weight, a resistance band, access to a wall, and we are going to get started with mobility drills on this Monday morning. Lay on your back with knees bent. Today we're going to be focusing on biceps, pectoralis muscles, so your chest muscles, and mid and low back. On Monday mornings, I take it slower as I get into my workout routines. So join me here and allow yourself to move slowly as you're entering this space. Feel your feet planted on the mat with your knees bent. Feel your hips settle in. Maybe you feel the curves of your spine. My mid and low spine is curved a bit off the mat. I'm letting it rest where it is now. As you lay here, feel your breath. Fill your abdomen and your chest. You'll feel your rib cage rise up and out. So you should feel it rise and push your rib cage, push into the back of the mat as you inhale. And if you place your hands on your rib cage on the side, you'll feel your ribs flare out and up. On the exhale, everything just falls back in. Continue with this 360-degree breath for 4 rounds. Think about what you want to accomplish in the next 30 minutes. I'll be with you for 30 minutes this morning. The reason we don't have to spend more than that amount of time is because of the selection of the exercises being so effective. Begin to waggle your knees back and forth. Feel the femur roll inward and outward in your pelvis. Moving at the hip a bit, feel your feet roll side to side on the mat as your knees follow. I love being gentle with my motions in the morning after a weekend. I tend to do certain things that cause inflammation in my body over the weekend. So taking care of our tissues this morning without rushing, it's really important. Knees to chest. Roll over to your right side. Thoracic rotations. Right arm comes out, left palm to meet it. Rest your head. I'm gonna put mine on a pillow if you have one handy. Open up, rotating open through your mid-spine. Feel your scapula retract. Breathe in here. Exhale, close off, hands together. Feels so good to feel this isolated rotation. Your thoracic spine are your heavy rotators in your spine. They rotate the most number of degrees of all of your vertebrae based on how they are stacked. For 4, 3, 2, switch sides. In 1. On to your left side for right side rotation. Hands stack, all of your joints stack as you lay on your side, open up. Inhale, close off, exhale. Stella's just trying to block you. She doesn't think you're interested in any of this. You can't possibly be. There's so many other things to watch through the window. For 2, in all fours, in 1. Finish off this motion. And up onto your hands and knees. Hip circles. Keep your deep breath here. We're still moving slowly. This might feel like ages before we get into anything productive that you find, but this is so productive itself. Switch directions. Feel the weight shifting onto each of your joints, so I can feel it on my shoulders, my wrists, and then my hips. Land in all fours right here. Right hand behind you, wrist rotations, small circles. Feel a perfect circle being made with the rotation of your hand. Switch directions. You can open up and splay your fingers out. We are going to be activating some finger muscles here in just a moment. Switch hands. Wrist rotations behind you. This is a great way to get connected with the muscles of your wrist and forearm because you can't see what you're doing, so it's all the way your brain is getting the sensory input from the motion. Switch directions. So there's arthrokinematic, there are nerves in your joints that send information to your brain to know where they are in space. Hands come in front of you underneath your shoulders. And it's an important way for your brain to connect with your muscles. You don't want to have to rely on your vision all the time to figure out where you are. Lift your thumbs off the mat, push your fingers into the mat, your palms, the heels of your hand into the mat. Lift. See the tendon that is connecting your thumb to your wrist. See that pop. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift your pinky, same way, so everything else presses into the mat. Your pinky can lift independently of all of your other fingers, kind of cool. Press your ring finger into the mat so that it doesn't want to peek up, and try to keep your palms flat onto the mat. This is challenging. Relax your pinky down, index finger comes up. You also have a muscle specifically meant to extend your index finger, kind of like pointing, or if your name is Kate and you like to finger dance, this is an important muscle for you. Shout out to my friend Kate. Lower your finger down. Lift all of your fingers up off the mat, pressing your palms, the heels of your palms into the mat. Hold here. Extension through your hand. Having open hands isn't super common throughout daily functional tasks. We're holding tools, we're writing, we're typing, we're flexed usually. So getting some extension really in your whole body, it's really important. But we are going to activate some grip with our weight, so we want to activate the flexors. Make a tent with your hand on the mat. So your mat is going to be beneath your hand, and you're going to be pushing this part into the mat and the fingertips. So you're making a tent where your knuckles kind of pop up. So hold there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Kneeling, just do some median nerve glides. Hands out to a T. Fingers point towards the ground, then pull them up, flex at your wrist, and touch your shoulders. Move through this motion a few times if it feels good. If this doesn't feel good, go into some maybe shoulder circles, but a little tension through this part of your arm is kind of a good thing. I lay in bed at night and I curl up into a tight little ball, and then I wake up and I'm craving this motion. For 2, 1, grab your heavy weight in your right hand. Hammer curls. Do it kneeling or in standing. Up for 2, down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Up for 2, down for 4, 3, 2, 1. The reason we're going slower on the way down is because the eccentric contraction of your muscle is really where you get the most bang for your buck from muscle growth. Lower it down. Good. Important to keep your shoulders as even as possible across your chest, so we don't want one hiked up more than the other. We don't want you focusing on shoulders down and back. Reason being is you're going to put pressures through that shoulder as you're pressing it down, and that's not how our bodies are meant to move. So that old adage of shoulders down and back, really tight down, make sure you're keeping it there. Ignore that, throw it out the window. One way you can create that stability in your back and shoulders is being up against a wall. That way you can kind of feel that support. Your brain likes that, likes to feel supported. 4 more reps here. We'll be doing a little combo with a lighter version of a heavy weight, so a moderate weight, into, you can always help with your other hand, and 1 lower down. Grab your medium-sized weight, come into a 90-degree bend of your arm. Hold here, tilt it inward for pronation, then supinate it so palm comes up, curl up. Lower down, pronation, supination, curl up. So your muscles of your forearm, there are your pronator teres, pronator quadratus, supinator. You can supinate and pronate without anything happening at the upper body, which is why we're staying stable here as we're doing that motion, and then we're bending up. For 4, 3, switch arms in 2, and 1. Lower your weight down, grab your heavy weight for hammer curls, left arm. Up for 2, down for 2. Or down for 4. We want that eccentric contraction. Lower it down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel free to get up against that wall. Get into kneeling. Sit in a chair if that's more comfortable. I don't care what your lower body does as long as it's staying still. This arm feels so fresh compared to what we were just doing. Feel that contraction at the top. Keep your shoulders and shoulder blades stationary. You'll feel your muscles popping. Such a good thing. Ladies out there, we're not gonna get bulky from lifting weights. Just throw that out the window too, okay? Lower for 4, good. For 2, grab your medium weight after you finish this last rep. So up, I'm gonna help it a little bit, just like I did on my last one. This is a challenging weight for me, which is a good thing. I just switched up to 15s for bicep curls about a month ago, and it's still ringing true that that's my heavy weight. 90-degree bend in your elbow, tilt in for pronation, and then tilt your palm up for supination, curl up. Feel the slow turn of just your forearm, just your radius turning over your ulna. Okay, nothing else moves until you start to curl up. Moving through mud here for 4. This burns. 3. 2 more, you've got this. Grab your resistance band for pulses after you finish this final rep. Resistance band comes under your knees or your feet if you have a long band. Mine's not long enough to be standing. Otherwise, it would be too much tension. Palms up, pulse here, and a 90-degree bend in your wrist. Hands can turn out at an angle from your body. Pulse for 30 seconds. We've got this. Your biceps are screaming. Mine are. Pulse here for 10, 8, good. 6, 5, chest press in 4, 3, 2, 1. Get rid of that resistance band. Grab heavy weights. Roll onto your back. This transition's always a little awkward. I lay my weights kind of on my thighs, straight against my femur. And then I roll back, bend my knees, bring your shoulders, open up at your shoulders so that your elbows pointing at a 45-degree angle. Press up for 2. Guess what? We're lowering down for 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're feeling the muscle, your pec major, pulling your arm inward towards your body. Lower down for 4. And then as you're lowering, you're feeling it resist that. So you're like fighting it. You don't want to lower, but you're doing it. Doing it slow. Up. Squeeze your weights together and lower down for 4, 3, 2, 1. You're hearing me kind of start to heave a little bit. I am going to be pretty honest with you. So I took 2 weeks off from exercising because I got breakthrough COVID. So what happened is I wasn't lifting. And so I'm going to take a break here. You keep going. I wasn't lifting for 2 weeks. I was taking kind of easy walks outside, but it was so hot. I live in the Midwest in St. Louis, and it was so warm. So I'm going to go ahead and move through this pattern really slowly without weight. This is an option for you if you need a break from the weights too. Squeeze your hands together at the top and then peel your hands apart like they're magnets. There's always a way to make an adaptation, okay? Stay here for 5 push-ups in 4, 3, I can still feel that contraction, it's amazing. In 2, finish your rep. In 1. If you have those weights, go ahead and place them at your hip creases, shrug up a little bit, and then roll them off to the side. So move your weights out of your way. Feel free to continue with chest press if you hate to get onto your wrist or if you have wrist issues. So I'm gonna actually roll up my mat on this side. I do have a little bit of wrist sensitivity on my right hand, but it's been feeling pretty good. So hands as wide as your mat. I'm gonna go into kneeling. Feel free to go onto your toes. Lower down for 2, up for 2. You'll notice my elbows are tracking at about a 45-degree angle open away from my body. Squeeze your hands together, act like you're kinking the mat as you're pushing up. So you're trying to make a bend in that mat. As you're coming up, bringing your upper arms together, feel your chest pop. Good. For 10 push-ups, okay? 10 here. Good. 9. Whew, I'm shaking. You can probably see me shaking on the video. It's okay. I'm just gonna move a little bit slower, a little bit less range of motion. For 6. 5. Back to bicep curls. 2. And 1. Bicep curls, heavy weight, hammer curl. I'm gonna do 6 reps here, so nice slow reps. Up for 2. Down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze that weight as tight as you can. Squeeze the muscle as tight as you can as you're lowering it down. Just got a little growly in my voice there. I'm really trying to focus on my position as I'm telling you guys what to do. Lower down. 4, 3, 2, 1. You can see how I'm helping this weight up with my other hand. And then I'm lowering it down. For 2 more reps, switch hands. Finish this one out. Switch to your left hand for hammer curls. We're gonna give this, I know we were doing the pronation, supination right after last time. We're gonna give that arm a break for a second. Lift up for 2, Lower down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Moving through mud here. Good. Up for 2, down for 2. I am sweating, most likely because I'm used to working out in my basement where it's cool and the sun isn't peering through a window, but it's so pretty up here this morning. We have sheer curtains on our front windows and the sun just like pours into our living room. Makes it nice and toasty. You're here for 2 more reps. Help that weight up if you need it. Grab your moderate sized weight after this next one. Nice. I'm gonna grab my 10-pound weight. Whatever your medium sized weight is, right hand, 90-degree bend, turn in, pronate, supinate, curl. 6 here as well, so lower nice and slow. Think about moving as slow as possible through the pronation and supination. Whew, moving through thick, thick mud here. Up, lower, down. 4 more reps, and then you're gonna switch hands. 4, whew. 3, 2. I'm just heaving over here. 2. Squeeze that weight. I'm gonna help it up. 1 more rep, switch hands. Whew. That arm is so tight, I'm gonna shake it out a little bit. Give it just some tension release. Open my palm up. Switch hands, 90-degree angle. Turn in pronation with your forearm. Open it up, palm to sky. Curl up. It's rare that we are putting resistance on our forearms like this, but what I challenge you to do as you're getting back into your routine this morning after you're done exercising, or this, this evening if you're doing this later, see how much this motion is pretty functional. So grabbing things, opening up containers. For 2, resistance band pulses in 1 more rep, okay? Whew. Grab your resistance band under your feet or your knees. My arms are dead, so we're gonna do 10 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shake out your arms. Chest press in 5, 4, good, 3, 2, 1. On your back, chest press with your heavy weights. On your 45-degree angle, push up for 2, lower down for 4. If you want to up level this just a little bit to add more contraction through your pecs, come in, turn your palms towards each other, press your weights together for a moment at the top, then peel them apart. It's all about activating the muscle fully each time you contract. Think of 150% effort, so like more than what's 100, 100% effort, so you can get all of those fibers of the muscle firing. Try to fire evenly through each side of your chest. For 4, push-ups in 3, 2, you're moving slower than my counts, by the way. Drop your weights, bring them to your hip flexors, roll onto your side, and set them away. Push-ups, 10 of them, roll your mat up, or you can continue with your chest press, your options there. You also have options in push-ups to do them kneeling or on your toes. You've got it, bust out 10 right here, nice and slow. Feel your hands try to pull together as you're pushing towards the top, as you're raising. You'll notice that my hips are bent. That way I'm not dropping through my pelvis and arching through my back. I'm gonna be able to focus. I'm gonna stay stable in all of our other joints so we can focus on the muscle that we're trying to strengthen. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Shake it out. Get into standing, shake out, dance. See, yeah. We're gonna do back and lats another time. We just burned out our biceps and chest. Hopefully you feel the same way as me, that we're like burnt out. Getting into our cool down here. I like to shake it out after doing something that increased a lot of effort through my body. When we are sending all of our blood to our muscles, it means that we're using a catabolic hormone, and it's cortisol. So we want to decrease that kind of stress hormone in our body by shaking it out. The reason this works, I'm not quite sure. But animals will do it in the wild when they're stressed out. So you'll see like a dog shake. So we're just letting it all out today, okay? On your back in 4, 3 side rotations, 2, 1. On your back, I'm gonna rotate through our mid-back again, but from our hips. You're gonna tilt your hips away. Arms stay out to a T. Feel your pelvis lift each side. Feels so good to do it just in a different way after remaining kind of stable through our whole back during that upper body series. Gosh, who knew you could work chest and biceps just 2 times in a row and feel this fatigued. It's because we're choosing exercises that use the fibers of the muscles in their most lengthened state. So we have the right amount of force to fight resistance. So early phase loading exercises are the most effective because your muscles are the strongest when they're long. Yogi ninja kicks. Rest your pelvis in neutral. Bend and straighten your knees over your hips. Good. Feels nice. You're gonna bounce your legs up and down. Feet come to the floor. Arms out to a goalpost. Rotate open and closed through your shoulder. Go through a range of motion that feels good to you. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reach overhead. Roll out through your wrists for one final time today. Switch directions. Let your breath come back down to a slow, easy 360-degree breath. Open your arms out, lay them palms open, feet out, and just splayed where it's comfortable, Shavasana. Bringing our heart rate back down, getting our body back into a calm state before we leave this mat. Spend the 30 seconds here with me. Feel your rib cage open and close. I like to think of it as an open and close, how your ribs splay open and then they sink back in. Start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Maybe make fists with your hands and then open them back up. Squeeze your toes in and splay those as well. Come up into a seated position when you're ready, or you can remain on your back. One final breath here together. Sit upright, crown to the sky, extend through your spine a little taller. Inhale, fill your lungs with air. Sigh out, breath. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and there'll be more to come. We'll do lower body tomorrow.